This is Kilo, and a question that I am asked all the time, and I see this question on forums, on social media. Customers come in all the time asking this, friends and family. They're always asking me what lock I would recommend for their home, or for their shed, or their garage, or their office. And honestly, the lock is essentially just a scarecrow. So I know that on YouTube you guys can find a handful of people just picking open master locks and quick sets and schlegs like they're cake. In reality, the majority of locksmiths that I have worked alongside and I've met all have quick sets, defiance, schleg, and master padlocks that they use to protect their home and their property. And you might think that that's crazy, but statistically, it's a very low percentage chance that a thief or a burglar is going to pick your lock. Most of the time, when it comes to padlocks, you want to find something with a very thick shackle. If you are looking at, maybe for your front door, if you were to take a common person who knows nothing about locks and you set down a quickset, a schleg, and an Abloy Protect 2 right in front of them on a desk, ask them to point out which one's which, and they won't be able to. They won't even be able to tell you the difference between them. You can do the same thing in, an interrogation room. If the thief is, caught, and you could ask him if it was possible, you could ask him, which lock was which, and he wouldn't even know. Thieves don't really look at the lock. They would look at a quickset and they automatically think it's a vault. The same way if they looked at an Abloy Protect 2, they look at it the same way they look at your $5, quickset knob that you picked up at the dollar store. So the lock is really low on your priority list if you want to really protect your property. So what locksmiths use is a form of target hardening to protect themselves. So target hardening is basically levels of security that you put in place, and they could be many things. So instead of trying to explain what target hardening is, I'm going to go through this list. This is a top 10 that I threw together. It's not really in so much of a particular order. The first couple I would put at the top, but the rest could be in any order that you guys want. And I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about here. So, first of all, we'll start with number one. If you are concerned with someone, maybe sneaking in when you're on vacation or when you're out of town, the first thing that you need to do is invest in a good lighting system. This can be motion lights, solar lights. You can line your driveway and your yard with them. Any type of light is the enemy to a thief. They do not want to be seen. If a thief walks past, they're walking down your street and they see this house that has a motion light that comes on very quickly, it has a really good sensor, and they see that the neighbor's house is completely dark, which one do you think the thief is going to attack? You could even take a walk down your neighborhood tonight, walk your dog or walk, however you want to go about it, and just take a look at all of the homes on your street and count how many have their porch light on and count how many do not. Then kind of put yourself in, the makeshift mind of a thief and look at these homes and say, okay, which one would I be able to sneak up to? Which one do I think I could, sneak onto and break in? And then look at the flaws on the house that you think, is a good target. From there, you'll notice the one big, factor in your decision on that will be light. You will say, what, even a small little, bug zapper light is just enough to scare a thief away. I would definitely recommend motion lights, as they don't stay on all night to annoy your neighbors and they won't cause any, issues there. Motion lights also don't bother you, as if you're watching TV, sometimes the lights can just shine through the curtains. So motion lights are cool because it's enough to kind of shock people and make them run off. Again, solar lights, you can line your yard. They don't cost anything, power wise. They're very cheap to pick up. You can buy them in packs of like 10 and 20, and all of it really is, light alone can really scare off enough. It could just really be enough of a factor to scare off a thief. So definitely, right off the bat, invest in good lighting. You want to cover all blind spots around your home. If you have a shed out back, put a nice light that faces it, and that's enough. A next level of target hardening would be a security door, like your screen door. And when a thief is walking by and they see, your porch lights on, they're going to look and they see the door has, a bar door or security screen door. They're going to say, okay, there's no way I'm going to kick in that door. The next thing they're going to have to do is look for another way in. So this is now 2 levels. Now they're going to say, okay, I got light and I got this door against me. Now my options are limited to basically just a window. So a good security door I would definitely invest in at a bare minimum on any home. An alarm system. This is another level of target hardening. If you install an alarm system, obviously you're going to feel very safe, but they do come with these signs here, which is the main reason I've added this. So while an alarm system is good, not every thief is going to know if your home is alarmed or not unless you leave a sign outside. If you have, at this point, if you're following the list to a T, you now have adequate lighting. So if a thief walks by and the motion sensor pops on, he's going to look over and see your security door, and somewhere in your garden he's going to see, protected by this alarm company. Now it's really going to make it basically a huge challenge for him if he wanted to break into your home. He's going to say, okay, these guys are smart. Like, they've got it figured out. Something that kind of ties into that would be a camera, or a camera system, a surveillance system, even something like a Ring doorbell. And these also come with signs sometimes. So, you can walk up and it says, under surveillance by, this doorbell. This next to an alarm, company sign, coupled with great lighting and a security door, is really going to make them say, okay, I can't do this. Like, this alone, we could just stop this list at 4, and they're not going to try and mess with your home. So this is definitely a big top priority when it comes to, ultra secure target hardening here. So definitely something to look into. Number 5, for me, I put a fence and a gate. So if you are able to install a fence or a gate around your property, it's definitely another obstacle, because now they're going to have to figure out how to, if let's say it's a 6-foot gate, they're going to say, okay, now I got to jump over the gate, hide from the light, can't get to the door, the camera's facing over here, maybe there's a blind spot though, and then they're going to say, maybe if I'm caught, I'm going to have to run and jump over that fence again with anything I'm carrying. So this is another level that they're going to have to, make a decision on. So all of these things, if you guys are seeing a trend here, you're trying to make as many obstacles for a thief as possible. So something else I would recommend is parking in a driveway or under a street light. Again, you see lighting. So the closer the car is to the home, the more of a risk of being seen you are. And, if a car is underneath a street light, they're obviously going to be seen trying to break the window to break in versus a car that's parked out in the dark. Definitely another form of target hardening, making it difficult for them to really choose you as their target. So, this is just, again, another level, another method that you guys can go about, protecting yourselves. this goes kind of hand in hand with that one, would be a car alarm. Now, this one is pretty obvious. However, many people don't even have car alarms on their older cars. And installing this, you might be thinking, when a car alarm goes off, all it does is annoy your neighbors for the most part. The thing is that if somebody is creeping around your home and you don't have maybe the first half of this, list all set up yet, if somebody, if you hear something outside, your dog's barking, and you look out there and they go to hide, if they go to hide by your car and they bump the car, your car alarm will go off. So you'll know someone's out there. They're always going to look for something to hide behind, which we'll get to more in this list here. But this can work for you in many ways to have a car alarm. It lets others know something is going on, even though most neighbors never even look out their window. They just yell to tell someone to turn off their alarm. But it helps you know that someone is out there if they were to try and hide behind your car. If they break your window, your car's going to go off. It's going to make them panic. They're going to, a lot of times you see like this flashing light on the dash. They're going to say, okay, I'm not even going to bother. Definitely something to invest in. And again, on the vehicle side, as well as in your home, hide all of your valuables when you leave your vehicle. So I see this a lot when I show up to clients' homes. They leave their wallet right on the passenger seat. They leave their purse right there in plain view. They've left money. I've seen, as I'm walking up to unlock a car, they have like $50 just sitting there in the cup holder. And to a thief, that's just, easy money. They're just going to punch out the window and grab it and run. You don't want to leave that. You don't want to leave your iPhone or your iPod or, your games or anything just sitting right there. It's, there are opportunistic thieves out there. And that's an opportunity to them. So also for your home, this is something that I've noticed a lot on modern homes being built, is they have these big like display style windows where, when the curtains are open, you see everything in their home. And I see this a lot right now, especially in my area. It's a big tourist kind of an area, and they're building these Airbnbs. And they're designing them so fancy that basically the whole front wall of these homes are just windows. And as I'm driving, back and forth to work, I you can't help but look over and you can see everything inside their home. You see their giant TV, their Xbox or PlayStation. You see where they keep everything. You do not want to do that, It might seem cool to be like, yeah, let me kind of humble brag here and show off my home. Don't do that, because the wrong people are looking. So, keep the curtains down. Your items are your items. And if you want to, make sure you're not a target, don't try and be flashy like that. So that's definitely something to think about. And I know, you might be thinking, it's my home, I can do what I want. It's not a perfect world out there. So this will definitely put you at the top of someone's list for, breaking in. If they see that you have a lot of valuable items within, a reasonable reach. If they could break the window, run in, grab it, and run out, especially if your whole, front wall is just a giant window and they smash through it, take what they can and run. You know what I mean? So definitely something to think about. Something else on the list would be trimming all of the shrubs, trees, bushes, anything you have around your home. And this is because if someone is trying to creep around your house, let's say that they see that you have a motion light. And let's say that you do have one of those homes where you've left your window open, way too often, and they've seen it. Now you're their target. They're going to, walk by at night, and they're going to say, okay, this light comes on, but the second it goes off, you have like a 2-second window to run through before it comes back on. If they can see like a tree or, a shrub that's like overgrown next to your home, they can run, hide behind it, and then wait for the light to go off again. Same with trees, all of this kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that it's level, at a decent height, to where if someone was trying to hide, you would see them. Something else that goes even further on this would be planting rose bushes around your home, plants that have thorns on them, so that way if somebody, tried to run in the dark to hide, they're gonna run into problems and then they're gonna just take off. Like they're not gonna try and sit there in this, you know, murderous tree, right? So something to really think about is to trim any overgrown plants, any overgrown bushes. It's just just like a car, it's a very convenient hiding spot for a thief to hide behind. This one I also added on here would be a beware of dog sign. Whether you have a dog or not, if you, let's just say you did everything on this list and you add this to it, now put yourself in the mindset of a thief for a moment and think, okay, they have motion lights that cover every blind spot. They have no hiding spots. They trimmed all their trees. Everything is, perfect. If you've seen something, it'd be out of place. You'd notice it really quick. They got a security door. They got cameras. They got an alarm system. I see their flashing car alarm on their car. I don't see anything in their car. Maybe they even have tinted windows. They have a gate. So, you're thinking about all of the things on this list, and then you're going to say, okay, they have a beware of dog sign in their window. Even if I can make it through all of that, what am I going to do? So, like I said, even if you don't have a dog, it's definitely something, it's a very smart thing to put up as another deterrent. Even if you haven't done anything on the list, this kind of does deter people. I wouldn't rely on a dog as target hardening. I would just rely on the sign, as if you use a dog as your, primary protection, a BB gun is definitely something they're going to look into, and you could lose your companion there. So I would never rely on an animal for protection. I would just rely on this as another way for them to say, oh man, if I try to, break through this window and grab something, that dog could tear my arm off. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't really use the dog. So just to kind of note that there. And this is just a summary of some of the runner-ups here. Bars on the windows, another deterrent. If you've done everything else, they're going to say, oh, there's no way I can even get to the window now. Barbed wire, I see this on a lot of farmers use this, ranches, businesses, they'll put barbed wire around their whole gate. It's, it's not going to stop somebody, but it's something for them to think about, maybe I could get cut. Obviously, thieves have figured out that they can throw their jacket over it and just hop over, but it is another all you're trying to do is make it harder. Instead of no barbed wire and they can just jump right over, you're going to make them take off their jacket, throw it on, jump over, grab their... It's every second matters to a thief. So the more seconds that you can take away from them, you want to do it. Motion sensors, these are very cheap now. You can find these on Amazon for almost nothing. And you can set these up around your property. And, if somebody even steps within your property line, you would know. You'll see something come up. And this also helps if you have animal problems where they're coming in and eating your crops or they're messing with your animals. You'll know if something walks past. So these are actually pretty cool regardless. Statues, I've noticed some people use statues or silhouettes of animals and people. They're not too pricey and they don't take up a lot of space, especially if you get the silhouette. A silhouette is basically just not as thin as this paper, but it's not a full statue. So you can set them up strategically to where at night, if the light shines on it just right, it looks like a shadow of a person standing out back. That is something that you could use. It's almost like a modern day scarecrow. Instead of looking like a fake man made out of straw, it looks like just a family sitting outside or a couple of dogs, sitting there at the back porch. Enough for them to have to think about it. The more they have to think, the more they're going to walk away. And then bells and chimes I wrote on. Some people have attached these to their gates. So if somebody were to open up their gate or, some people have like these swinging doors that lead to their porch area. If it moves, you're gonna hear, a ringing. Some people even do this anyways for like the mailman, so that way they know when the package has arrived. If they're in the house, they'll hear, a bell or a chime. Again, a motion sensor would fit just as well. If maybe you have a large house or an upstairs house, you could attach a motion sensor to where you would hear it ding in every room. It's up to you. These are kind of the more extreme sides of target hardening. However, these are just some levels of target hardening. So if you notice on this list, I never brought up locks. The lock really does not matter. It's, an obstacle, but it's very low on the list of obstacles that you should really invest in first. So anytime that I show up to, a client's home, I always kind of offer to give them a free, look around to show them, their blind spots, their, target areas. And I let them know, we can help you. Even if our company can't install all of this, we do have partners here in town, and we can give you their number and have, them quote you all of this, just so that way they know that they are fully protected. So if you ever have the question, how could I best protect my property? Definitely research target hardening. This is just my top 10 list. People have, top 20 and top 50 lists. It goes on and on. There's some people who have just clever ways of, going about this method. But definitely this is the way to secure your property correctly. So I just wanted to answer this question. It is something that I see a lot and a question that I get almost daily. So hopefully this helps answer your questions. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, you guys can feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more locksmithing help videos and lock picking videos. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. Stay safe, stay protected, and have a nice day.